This time when you break, you fix it. I teach you the core fundamentals of plastic welding. Let's get to it. Welcome back. Here at the Fix It shop, it is spring turkey season, and I went to get all my gear out, and I realized that my rod for my decoy was snapped, and I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to film a plastic welding 101 video. I love plastic welding. The more time goes on, the more of our products and everything in our life is made out of plastic. And what happens to plastic? It breaks. And this is a prime example of a 30 some odd dollar turkey decoy that would have been virtually useless without this silly rod that's made to do all sorts of fancy stuff in the wind. But because I have a plastic welding skill and a plastic welder, this doesn't really matter. So to you, it's like, okay, I don't have a turkey decoy, I don't care, but I'll show you something that'll make you care. What we've got over here is your standard headlight. This is out of a truck. Most of your cars today, probably all of your cars today, have plastic headlights. So one of the biggest issues, and coming from the collision industry, is headlights break tabs very easily, especially in cold climates. You get a bunch of ice built up around the headlight, you bump a fence or something like that in the wintertime, and it snaps a tab off. Well, for a $100 headlight, you know, it's $100. That might be a lot of money. You don't want to spend $100. I'm in the same boat. I'm very cheap. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that. And that's where the plastic welder comes in. And so for instance, to show you, on this headlight tab, it is split. Hopefully that'll focus. It is split. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna repair that today. So I also did a tool review on my plastic welder. You don't need an expensive one to start out. In fact, I have never bought an expensive one. I think this is $30, maybe $40. It's just a heat source. That's all it needs to be. And be very careful. These, I mean, I think you can see this. I don't know, maybe you can't see it smoking. So all we need today is the heat source and some stainless steel mesh and some tin snips to cut the mesh. I forgot the tin snips. So what we want to do is we want to cut a piece of stainless steel mesh that bridges our repair. So let's say, for instance, if this whole tab was cracked off, what you would want to do is cut a fairly long strip, wide strip of that stainless steel mesh to go along the back side of this. And it's just, if you're familiar with concrete, it's just like concrete rebar. That metal rebar sinks down in the concrete to provide strength, and that's exactly what this mesh is doing. It's just gonna be, we're gonna be mushing this and molding this into the plastic, and that's where all our rigidity and strength is gonna come from. Welding plastic to plastic isn't gonna give you much strength. Aesthetically, it's gonna look nice, but as soon as you put some stress on this, it's gonna snap that right off. So we obviously don't wanna do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut some mesh. I think I'm gonna change the camera angle too so you can see a lot better. All right, I got my camera angle adjusted so you can see this better. So this is the tab right here that we're fixing. That's split. We're gonna make that so it's unsplit. So now, let's see if I can get that. We're gonna make this so it's unsplit. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold our mesh up to the area that needs to be repaired. So it's about that big. You can cut it a little large because you can trim this with a grinder when you're done. So you see we have our little piece of stainless steel mesh. So an important thing, I already did this, I forgot to add it to the video, I forgot to show you, but you want to clean the plastic. The contaminants that are sitting on the plastic aren't going to help the plastic adhere to itself. So you can see, let's get you closer. So I'm just laying the mesh over the repair area, and what we're trying to do is, and what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be just working that into, we're gonna be working this in with the heat. So one thing we can do, we're gonna be working this in with the heat. What I like to do is I like to just get the plastic, start getting it warm. See how I'm just barely dragging it and tapping it. And when you do your plastic repair, you'll see the same thing. Also, it's very important, wear a respirator when you do this. The exhaust gases, the gases emitted from heating up plastic are very toxic. So I'm gonna lay the mesh over, I'm gonna heat it with one side, I'll get a close up of this, and you're gonna wanna wear gloves, don't be foolish like me. And you'll see that stainless slowly disappear into the plastic. I'll get a closer shot of the next side now that this is tacked. All right, try to get you a little closer. See how one side is completely disappeared into the plastic. And you'll see that when you do your repair, that as soon as you touch that stainless with the heat source, it'll smush that right down into the plastic. And that's the exact goal that you want to obtain. It's just like concrete rebar. We want to embed this into the plastic. So I'm going to heat this side. And see how I'm just barely pushing on that? You just need enough heat to get that to smush into the plastic. We don't have to go overkill. So now if I was typically doing a larger crack, what I would do is I would have an air hose and I would have a blowgun on an air compressor, and I would be slowly tacking this across the mesh and just blow a little bit, blow a little bit, blow a little bit. Because you're gonna see that this stuff has a mind of its own. When you start heating all this as an entire repair, the stainless steel mesh might wanna curl up just because of the heat and pull out of the plastic. So you're gonna wanna do a little bit at a time. So now we've come to the point, let's say we need some plastic filler. Well, where would we get that? What type of plastic is this? I don't know what filler to get. Well, the good news is, you know, on something like a headlight, in most plastic parts, there are a lot of just random gussets and things like that we can steal a little plastic from. So we're gonna do that. So I know, right, this is off of one of my old trucks, so I'm not gonna be using this, but I know the tabs that I can steal from. So like right here is a big gusset that we don't need the whole gusset, it's hidden behind the bumper. We're gonna take a utility knife and shave a chunk of plastic off. So now you can see I have my plastic filler rod. It's just like MIG welding or TIG welding. Now if we're trying to fill a large crater, this isn't, I can just blend this in with the plastic that's already there, but let's say we're missing a chunk, we can work this into the repair. We just put it on top slowly. Again, slow and steady, I think slow and steady is the best thing you can do when it comes to plastic welding. You don't want to overheat it. You don't want to work too quickly. And then boom, that comes right off. And just like that, we have fixed that tab. So now some people are in the glue world, which glue is great, but you have to have it on hand. Glue goes bad. I've gotten 10 to 12 years out of this plastic welder, and I'm sure it has many more left in it. So it's nice to keep around. Things are only being more and more plastic, so it's a really cool skill to have. Just like that, you're now a plastic welder. It really is simple. Get some practice. Get an old junk headlight like this and practice before you try on the real deal. If you're trying to repair a part on your car, it's really important. Again, practice on something else. Really all you need is a heat source and some stainless steel mesh. You'll be good to go. And remember, you can always steal filler rod off of another part off of another area in that piece. Plastics are molded with many excess gussets and chunks and pieces that you really don't need on them that you can shave off with a utility knife and use that as a filler rod. And you can see this is a very valuable skill to have. This headlight alone is I think about $100. We just saved $100 in less than 5 minutes with a tool that costs $25. So you can see the power in this. Imagine a dash panel or an engine cover or an engine shield that costs much more than that. It just shows you how valuable this skill and this tool is. And again, go check out the tool review video. I talk a little more in depth about the tool itself and what you get and what to look for. Please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram to see more of stuff that I have going on in the shop, quick tips and tricks. And as always, I'm Jim Murphy, and I'll see you in another video.